Millionaire CEO throws his newborn twins into the river, but what the German Shepherd does next. It was a foggy morning on the edge of the Hudson River, the kind that makes the world feel eerily quiet, like it's holding its breath. A sleek black car pulled up to the riverbank, far from the glimmering lights of the city. The man who stepped out was known to millions, Elliot Kane, a self-made tech billionaire, the face of success and ambition. Magazine covers called him a genius. His rivals called him ruthless. But this morning, Elliot wasn't thinking about mergers or money. He was thinking about how to disappear from a life that had grown far too heavy. He walked to the water's edge with trembling hands, carrying something bundled in a soft blue blanket, 2 tiny lives, just days old. His newborn twins, a boy and a girl. No one knew they existed. Not the media. Not his colleagues. Not even his estranged family. The mother, Anna, a kind-hearted nurse he'd loved quietly, had passed away during childbirth, and Elliot had unraveled ever since. He blamed himself, believed the world would blame him too. He saw the twins as a cruel reminder of his failure and shame. So, in a moment of unbearable grief and confusion, he did something unthinkable. With tears streaking down his face, Elliot whispered, "Forgive me," and let the bundle slip from his hands into the cold, gray river. But fate, so often cruel, chose mercy that morning. Before the water could claim the children, a large shadow streaked across the riverbank. A German shepherd, muddy and matted, leapt with fierce determination into the current. No one had seen the dog until now. She had no collar, no home, just a heart that somehow knew right from wrong. With powerful strokes, the dog reached the bundle and began paddling back, her teeth gently clamped around the edge of the blanket. Elliot stood frozen, unable to process what he was witnessing. By the time the dog reached the shore, the twins were coughing, sputtering, but alive. She placed them at Elliot's feet, and then stood over them protectively, growling low in her throat, as if daring him to try again. Elliot collapsed to his knees. And for the first time since Anna died, he wept, not from grief, but from the crashing realization of what he had nearly destroyed. That dog, a stray with no name, had more courage and compassion than he had shown in weeks. He wrapped the babies in his coat, hands shaking, and carried them back to the car, the dog padding quietly behind. They drove to the hospital in silence. When the nurses asked what happened, Elliot said only, they were saved, by her, nodding to the German shepherd now lying beside the nursery crib like a loyal guardian. News of the mysterious dog rescuing 2 infants spread like wildfire. Local reporters dubbed her Grace. The name stuck. Elliot didn't speak to the media. He didn't return to the boardroom. Instead, he did something the world never expected, he disappeared. But not into darkness. Into redemption. Elliot sold his penthouse. He stepped down as CEO. He moved into a modest house in a quiet town where no one recognized him. He devoted his life to raising his children, Milo and Clara, with the love and presence his own father had never given him. Grace became family too, sleeping at the foot of the twins' beds each night. Years passed. Elliot built something new, not a company, but a community. He opened a center for single fathers and grieving parents, offering counseling and childcare. He funded a shelter for rescue animals, naming it Grace's Place, where the motto was simple, every life deserves a second chance. And Elliot had learned that lesson the hard way. One day, when the twins were 6, Clara asked him, "Daddy, is it true Grace saved us when we were babies?" He nodded, heart heavy with memory. "Yes, sweetheart. She saved all of us." Clara leaned down to kiss the old dog's head. "She must be an angel." Elliot smiled through tears. "She is." As word spread about Grace's story, people came from far and wide to visit the shelter, to adopt animals who needed love, and to hear the tale of the billionaire who was saved by a stray dog. Not by her teeth or paws, but by her example. Her unwavering instinct to protect the innocent. To love without condition. Elliot was once a man consumed by ambition and guilt, drowning in a world where success often means losing yourself. But a creature with no voice and no status had reminded him that kindness is never weakness. That love is our truest strength. In a world that often seems cold and chaotic, one selfless act, by a dog no one wanted, had rippled outward, changing lives. Healing a man. Saving a family. And proving, once again, that sometimes the most profound miracles come not from boardrooms or bank accounts, but from the simplest, most unexpected places. Because love, in its purest form, always finds a way back to the surface.